What's up, catfish anglers? Ole Pops here, and today I'm going to give you a detailed video on how to get started fishing deep ledges with spot lock for big catfish, primarily big blue catfish. Now, a lot of times anglers set out on these big, giant, expansive bodies of water, and they don't know where to start. And I can tell you there's some tricks and tips here that I'm going to give you that are going to make it a lot simpler for you to get started on this. Now, one of the most important things for this open water blue catfishing like this is rod holders. And I've been using Driftmaster rod holders for years, and I have them situated all around my boat, and you need them situated all around your boat when you're fishing these drop-offs. I fish in the front of my boat, the side of my boat, and the back of my boat, and I fish from an anchored position. Now, it's okay to use anchors, but you better have some heavy anchors to hold on to you in that winter wind. And I have chosen to go to spot lock or anchor lock now, and that has really helped me as I've gotten older be able to pick up and move and go to places and try new places where I'm looking for active catfish. Now, those of you that are not familiar with anchor lock or spot lock, it has came a long way. This technology has evolved tremendously in the last 10 years. And the new Minn Kota, Lowrance, and Garmin units that are available today are just hands down better than a lot of the units they had just 4 or 5 years ago. And that thing right there, believe it or not, will hold that Charger VMAG in the wind for me to be able to set out there in deep water and catfish. It also works in shallow water too, but it is unbelievable for me after all the years of running guide trips in Missouri and Oklahoma and pulling anchors, years after years after years of pulling anchors, that I can go out and set still on the water with an electric anchor. One of the biggest tips that I can give you guys is make sure that you leave slack in all of your lines when you're out there. Spot lock or manual anchors are not going to allow you to set perfectly still, and you are going to have to be able to let that boat sway around with some slack in your lines. If you don't, when the boat sways, you're going to be hung up all the time. And I encourage you to put a lot more slack in your line than you would even think that you would need. If you do that, when these blue cats hit, they will pull the slack out of the line and pull your rod tips down, or you will see a commitment from that fish. And the other thing you need to learn how to do is reel down and hook the fish. Forget standing there trying to set the hook. You need to reel down, set the hook that way by burning the reel till you get a good circle hook, like a double action hook, set into that fish. Put a couple more wraps on it and pick it up and reel him in. I want you to think about something else too. This is no current out here, so these fish, you don't know which way they're going to go. Sometimes they swim at the boat, sometimes they pull away from the rod, sometimes they go left, sometimes they go right, sometimes they go down the drop-off, sometimes they come up the drop-off. So you're going to miss some fish. But if you'll take my advice and watch that line move and watch those rods go down, you are going to be a lot more productive out here with spot lock on these drop-offs. Another tip I can give you is if you have a chance to use power poles when you're on spot lock, those power poles really help hold your boat in place. They act like a big rudder or a big sail under the water, and they can really keep the back of your boat from swaying around as fast. It's still going to move, but it's just not going to move as fast and as violently, which really helps when you're out there looking at those rod tips and looking at that line all the time. Now, using sonar and color sonar is just fine to use. You don't have to have down scan or side scan to find these ledges and drop-offs, but you do need GPS with a good map on it to show you where you're moving around, and you need to be able to go back in and target specific areas on that drop-off that you want to try to fish. You want to try to fish high percentage areas like brush piles or rock piles or irregularities that are on a drop-off. And a lot of times when I'm spot locked on a drop-off, I'm not always looking for the steepest, most jagged one. I'm looking for one that there's a nice slow transition down that's got fish on it, on the fish finder, that might have some wood or stumps or structure. And lakes are all different kinds of depths, guys. It doesn't really matter where you are. Some of these fish you'll catch are at 40 foot, some of them are 80 foot, some of them are 20 foot. But you need to look for a drop-off that you can set up on and set your boat right up on the edge of the drop-off and cast into several different depths if possible. Well, now that you've done all that and you are not getting any bites, you wonder, how long should I stay on a drop-off? And I can tell you, if you see a fish finder that looks like this, you need to stay, because there are active fish underneath your boat. And if you have a fish finder that does not have shad or does not have fish on the bottom in a lake, then you need to pick up and move on. You see something like this and you're still getting a few bites, hang in there, y'all, because you're still going to catch some fish. I hope this Ole Pops video helps you become more productive out on the water. I know that this technology really helps me enjoy my fishing a lot more. The one thing I can tell you is that lighter boats will blow around on the water some more. So if you do have a lighter boat, expect to move around on the water a little bit more. Heavier boats are just not as apt to move around on the water as bad as the lighter ones. And the Charger VMAG does a wonderful job. It's a very heavy, almost 20-foot boat, and it's designed perfectly for this type of fishing. Hey, look down there on your mobile phone or on your computer, and if you see a subscribe button or a bell or something that says subscribe, hit that, because I hope you enjoy these videos. I've got a young channel here, and I sure would appreciate it if you told your friends and hit subscribe so you never missed an update when I'm out there uploading a new video. Hey guys, I hope these tips help you catch more fish, and I hope you become more successful after watching this anchor lock spot lock video. And as always, good luck out there.